What's up everybody, Matt Moran here for another quick drive video. So this time I am in the 2018 Audi S4 so this is my first time driving one of these new S4s. It has the 3-liter turbo V6 engine, does 354 horsepower, I think 369 pound-feet of torque, something around there. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds for these things. Pretty quick cars, a little bit on the heavy side. You know, these I think are around 3,850 pounds, I believe, something around there. But you know, it's a nice sized car. It's a good looking car. I think, you know, the S4s have always been a little bit more conservative than some of the competition. You know, it looks like a more aggressive A4. Nothing too wild though, but I gotta say, I think it actually looks very attractive and quite nice. Same goes for the interior here. The interior in these Audis are really some of the best out there. I mean, I just, you know, love this red leather seating fad that has been going on recently. I think it looks great. I love the quilted leather you have here in the S4 model. It looks really sharp. I love the steering wheel here with a small airbag cover. Really nice 9.3 grip. Just a really cool steering wheel here in the S4. Gauges are also great with the Audi virtual cockpit. That is really one of the coolest out there. But anyway, let's turn out on the straight road and see how the acceleration is. All right, there we go. Transmission took a second to get the idea, and then it takes off. This sounds great too, though. I mean, compared to, I mean, it's been a long time since I've driven the previous gen S4, but this has a lot more sound to it. And I'm assuming that's all real. I don't know, maybe they're cheating with some fake stuff, but whatever it is, I don't care, because it sounds great. And you can even hear a faint crackle and burble from that exhaust too, from inside the cabin here, which is really cool. I'm sure if we had a GoPro on the back there, we'd be able to hear exactly what's coming out of the back there. But overall, I mean, it sounds really good. It's punchy. Again, this transmission though, I think this is switched from the DSG, I believe, and now I think it's the 8-speed Tiptronic automatic. But it's pretty quick. It's just you know, it can't decide, it seems, whether it wants to rely on the turbo's torque or whether it wants to just give you higher RPMs. It seems like it's like fighting with itself, trying to decide what to do. But we'll put it in a manual mode here. Shifts are pretty quick, not razor fast, but I would say it's probably about the same as a ZF 8-speed, maybe a hair slower, close, but anyway, it's quick enough, you know, I think for most people that are going to be you know, driving these things. It sounds great though. I'm really surprised. I mean, this thing sounds really, really good. I'm impressed. And now that we're just cruising in traffic here, it's a very comfortable thing. I haven't driven the current gen A4 to compare, but you know, it has a little bit, you get a little more communication from the chassis as far as what's going on, but it's not stiff even in dynamic mode here. You know, it still is very befitting of a luxury vehicle, and certainly, you know, is a little softer than the RS3 that I just drove, for example. A little bit smoother, but overall it's still, I mean, it's an Audi, so of course it's going to be comfortable to cruise in. And the S4 isn't some all-out performance vehicle. It does have great performance, but it's still all about having something that's comfortable and a great daily driver, which I think this certainly is. But this engine, you just leave it, I'm in manual mode here, just cruising in 4th gear and having it hover around 3,000 RPMs. It's really got lots of power to just go. I mean, you gotta wait a split second for that turbo to kick in, but then it pulls really strong. And also, I am happy to say that the throttle response is a good bit sharper. So I drove the Audi SQ5, and that review will be going live probably later this fall because I have such a long backlog. But the throttle response wasn't as sharp. The throttle is really sharp. Feels great here in dynamic mode, so a lot more dialed in than the SQ5 in my opinion, which I personally love. Just very eager to respond to your commands. But anyway, we'll put it down onto this back road here in a minute and see how it handles. Here we go. All right. So it's a little bit softer. You get a little bit of lean there. It's not absolutely flat, but it does handle very well, you know, for, again, a little bit of a larger luxury sedan, you know. But like I said, 3850 isn't heavy weight, really, especially when you're talking about a luxury sedan like this. You know, but it feels pretty good in this back. There's only a couple of corners here, so I can't really get too good of an idea of how this thing handles, honestly. but you know, from the few corners here that I have gone around, it feels pretty buttoned down. I mean, the S4s have always been pretty good handlers. I would say this feels maybe a little less aggressive in its setup than the previous Gen S4, just again, from first very early impressions here. I'd have to drive one of these for a longer period to do more of an you know, accurate comparison, but it just seems like it's a little softer than the previous Gen S4, you know, from again my memory of many years ago and driving that. But this sounds better, I think, for sure. I love those burps on the upshift too. It's great. But yeah, downshifts are really quick. This transmission might be a little quicker than I originally thought. It's pretty good. Man, this thing is great. But yeah, I can see how this could be a very fun daily driver. It's really well-rounded, you know. It's good enough. It's still very soft, comfortable. So it's a great, you know, commuter vehicle, but it's also pretty good on a back road if you want to do that kind of stuff with it. Sounds great. I really am enjoying how much sound I'm getting here, which is something a lot of these other, you know, performance luxury sedans, they don't give you as much of the sound. And I really love, this doesn't have any kind of active exhaust or anything like that. It's just somehow I'm getting lots of sound, and I appreciate that. So yeah, overall I'm pretty impressed with this thing. And now I think for 2018 you can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here in the Audis, which is great as an option. The interiors, the other parts of the interior I didn't mention yet, you know, the climate control, that kind of stuff is very nice, very well done, and I will get more into the Audi interior in the SQ5, which is fairly similar, and I'll talk more about that, you know, later on this fall in my full review of that. Hopefully I will get a chance to do a full review of an S4 eventually down the road as well. But like overall, like I said, my first impressions are very positive of the S4. Like I said, maybe a little less sharp than the previous gen, but you get a lot more comfort and great sounds, and just overall a much more refined car in many ways. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about the new S4 in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.